Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to our Wednesday night conversation. My name is Joe W. Parker. I'll be one of your hosts tonight, along with my good friend, Mr. Eric Wilner. Eric, if you'll come to the stage, sir, we are grateful to have you. We're excited to present to you the new MWR presentation, guys. So, again, we're going to dive into this tonight and see how impactful this is and can be and has already been for so many. Eric, welcome to the platform, sir.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing this evening?
If it gets any better, I won't be able to stand it, my friend.
They might even make it illegal.
There you go. Well, listen, here we are, man, rolling out the brand new MWR presentation tonight for the first time, you and I together. So we're going to kind of dig deep and kind of see what this thing is all about and get an understanding of where we're going and what direction we're heading as it relates to our future with the MWR and all that is already done and what it has the ability to do even more with these added components, which we're going to talk about in some detail tonight. Once again, it's an honor to have you. So without further ado, my friend, we'll go ahead and get started if you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I came here ready.
I like it. Listen, a guy told me once, if you stay ready, you never have to get ready, right?
There you go. There you go.
Good deal. So here we are, guys. Welcome to MWR. This is where lifestyle and legacy connect. Once again, my name is Gerald W. Parker. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Eric Wilner. Matter of fact, Eric, I would be remiss not to mention the fact that you host the longest running syndicated radio real estate talk show in the country.
26 years strong and still heard live every single morning. And we talk about the real estate show and why real estate is such an important piece in every American's financial picture. And it kind of lays down a few of the beliefs that we have.
That sounds good. And I think that's quite a major reason why you were able to plant your flag and join MWR because of the components that we add that you actually helped bring to this platform, the keys to home ownership.
It was a marriage made in heaven. And MWR, which we're going to talk about tonight, and what they're looking to do to literally disrupt an industry, and which is the same thing as the certified affordable housing program was doing in the housing market. So we'll talk more about that in our presentation today. But yeah, I'm very proud of that fact, and really excited to see the results that we're getting for people where home ownership was only a dream. Today, it's a reality for more and more people, and I hope even more come.
No question about it. I was on the platform last night and heard you mention about a couple that secured home ownership just recently, will be moving into their new home before the 4th of July holidays. And all the odds were against them until they found the keys to home ownership platform.
It was the game changer, and what allows them to this week be closing on their first home in their first year in the United States. So just to give you an idea, this is breaking a lot of the barriers and a lot of the standards that people have as a preconception. Tonight, have an open mind, because we're going to explain some things that might sound counterintuitive, or just might you've never even heard about before. And that's why thank the person that invited you tonight, because you're in for a ride.
Oh, no doubt about it, sir. Hey, and I'm having a difficult time trying to go to the next slide here. So let me stop the screen share real quick, Eric, and then start that again and see if that will make some
Yeah, and
difference.
while you're doing that, if I might, I'll share a little bit about those three beliefs that have really been the foundation of the real estate show. And I was really pleased to find out that many of those same beliefs are not only shared but promoted by MWR. And for example, my first belief is I believe that everyone should have a home. Not everybody does, not everybody will, but the opportunity certainly is in front of you, that if you can afford to pay rent, you can afford to make a monthly payment on your home. And so regardless of your past financial background, we've got a program here for you. And that's something that I've been promoting for many, many years. Number two is that I believe that you need to have your financial house in order with a written financial plan. What do you call it? A life plan, a blueprint, a financial plan, a business plan. It must be in writing. And, I think most people wouldn't disagree, but many people don't understand how to do that. And that's another, again, once again, MWR steps in and provides experts that help you to figure out exactly how to get from point A to point B financially. And ultimately, point B is financial freedom. And then number three is that I believe that everyone should own a business. Okay. Whether it's part-time or full-time, the bottom line is that there are two tax codes out there. There is the employee tax code, which is the most severe and unforgiving. And then there is the business owners tax code, which is where there's, hundreds, literally hundreds of incentives and write-offs and deductions that are only available to people who are business owners. And the reason for that is a long time ago when the code was being written, it was written by the government, and guess who? Big business. And that's why they definitely tilted the scale in their favor. But the nice thing about that is it doesn't say whether it's big business or small business. It just says business owners. And that's why I believe everyone should have one. And we're going to talk about that as well tonight.
No question about it. Today's dreams, tomorrow's reality. Sir, let's get into it. Once again, guys, welcome to MWR. This is where lifestyle and legacy connect. All right, I've gone too far, Mr. Wilner. Here we go. So think about it. This is where, again, lifestyle and legacy connect. We're the first and only lifestyle and legacy company of its kind. Founded in 2017, a totally debt-free, multi-million dollar company. Our mission is to help the average everyday person experience true financial freedom. You just spoke about it, Mr. Wilner. See, the vision here, this is really what drew me. The vision is to create more financially independent families than any other company in history, and we're well on our way. The opportunity to give you access to the same system, strategies, and experts previously reserved only for the wealthy. Mr. Wilner, it appears that we've leveled the playing field here.
That's the name of the game, right? Is to make it accessible. You see, a lot of the things that we're going to talk about that might seem new are not new inventions, and they're not even secrets. They're just not made readily available, and it's has to be suspicious that we don't teach our kids finances early in school. It has to be suspicious that we've known that there's a lack of financial intelligence in the marketplace, yet big business, big government, Wall Street, they're all happy to keep things the status quo.
You said something. It has to be suspicion. Isn't that true, sir? Let's move forward and talk about the risk-free way to tap into the global financial market. And that's where we're headed, guys. And that's what we have the ability to do. When you look at the finance market share in the global economy, that represents 30%. Mr. Wilson, that's a great deal of money. But think about where we are with the current market size. Today's financial sector, the valuation is $36 trillion. Now, projected over the next 5 years, that number is going to look more like $50 trillion. That's a lot of money, sir.
That is a lot of money, but it is in fact the biggest industry in the world. It's bigger than the NFL, the NHL, and the Major League Baseball all combined. That's how big the financial services industry is. So when you're making a wave in that industry, you've got something special.
Well, no question about it. And what this says to me that we're definitely in the right place at the right time. Because again, you think about our lives, mine, yours, and everyone on this platform tonight. Tell me a day that there wasn't some concern for you or someone close to you or someone that you knew. There was not a concern about money. This is an issue that we've grappled with.
It's everybody's conversation, and it's every single day. You want to talk about a product that everybody talks about? That's money, economy, the inflation that's going on, right? The cost of living, the interest rates. Every day, I'll bet you there's not a single day that goes by that somebody didn't make some sort of a financial comment, which, by the way, is a great door opener to what we're talking about today.
No question about it. So let's move forward, sir, and talk about where we are next and what we can expect to happen. Here we go. For the life of me, sir, I don't understand why this is not happening.
I always say that technology is like voodoo. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Now, please wait here. That's okay, guys. Hang in there with me. We're going to get to the next slide here shortly. I don't know why it's not responding for me, but we're going to do it. And there it is right there. Open up for me. Talk to me. Let me see you. There we go. We're back to square one. Here we go. I'm all the way
Right.
here.
Now we
That's the
jumped
hard
way
work,
ahead.
sir.
This
Okay.
is the beautiful part about, you know, that this is live, don't you? This is a live presentation, and anything can happen. But one of the secret hallmarks of successful business people is the ability to adapt. The only thing that isn't going to change is that there will always be change. And the fact of the matter here is that, there's always going to be a curveball, there's always going to be a surprise, but how we react to it is much more than what actually happened.
No question about it, sir. And we're almost back to where we were, guys. And we're going to get this out. Keep in mind, this is the first time we've rolled this out together, Mr. Wilner and I. So let's keep our
Yep.
conversation going. What we're going to offer tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is a path, right, to wealth. 3 simple steps. First, we're going to do it by using somebody else's money. Eric, now I like this idea. This access guaranteed unsecured business funding, right? We're not out of pocket with any of this. We're going to secure it through business funding with our partner, Fundable 360. Now, what do we do with this money once we get it? We're going to purchase income producing assets, generate passive monthly income while benefiting from appreciation over time. And 3, all right, part of this path is that we're going to share the good news. So once we implement this and put it in place, we have the ability to generate multiple streams of immediate and residual income by sharing this path with others. Now, here's the thing. Let's talk about it as it relates to MWR Fundable 360 Business Credit and Funding Made Easy. Now, you're very familiar with this, being that you've operated in the financial space for decades. This company is recognized by Forbes, Inc. 100, 5,000, I'm sorry, USA Today, CBS, Fox, Entrepreneur magazines. Think about the ability to secure funding without any personal credit, a minimum of $50,000, no collateral. We're used to putting up our vehicles, our houses, anything that we've got of real value. You're going to get experts guided, funding guaranteed now, guaranteed, and ongoing funding. Once your foot's in the door, you're in the door.
Right. And and the interesting thing about money is that more money attracts more money. And so this is a way that the average person can learn about finances without having a PhD in finance, and have the experts at your fingertips, on speed dial, to help you along the way and navigate all of this stuff, so that ultimately, as you said, it's a 3-step process.
I like it, man. Well, it gives us a real plan. Well, most of us don't have one, but we've got a shot at it now. So let's talk about as it relates to precious metals, right? Securing your future. One, we're going to make the purchase of silver, gold, platinum, or other precious metals. We know the value of precious metals are going to continue to increase as they have versus the value of that fiat dollar, which continues to decrease. But we're going to do something different, Mr. We're going to store those metals in a licensed and insured depository. And while it's being stored, it's earning a monthly income through an exclusive leasing program that's only available here at MWR. Now, we talk about the benefit from the long-term value growth of precious metals. That's the appreciation. But this is a viable plan here, would you say?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been doing this in the real estate world for forever. And this just opened up, a lot of new opportunities using the same basic concept that you're talking about: purchase an asset, you know, hold on to that asset, earn from that asset, ride the appreciation, and then benefit from its long-term results.
That's what I'm on. That's what it's all about, my friend. Look at this as it relates to the projections on silver, right? Expert prediction on of the annual appreciation of silver up to 60% over the next few years. That's massive growth. And I mean, if people are watching, looking at the economy, looking at what all the talking heads are saying as it relates to the markets, this is real.
Well, and there's it's been proven over that hard assets, physical assets are the best hedge against inflation. And due to the fact that, real estate is scarce, there's only a certain amount. Precious metals are precious because there's only a scarce amount. And that's why they continue to rise in value, and are what, the wealthy people use to store value.
That's what it's all about, buddy. We want to get in the game. Think about this. Let's talk about how we make your first $50,000 work for you. If the idea is secure the funding of somebody else's money, the bank's money, the initial purchase, you borrowed $50,000. So there's going to be a payback on the $50,000 at about 8%. So that's $333. Now, your monthly leasing income projected to be 1.5%. So let's say $750. Look at the net profit, $416.67, and we've not come out of pocket yet, Mr. Wilner. So the annual net profit to repurchase silver, $5,000 annual appreciation based on the last 5 years average. You've seen silver increase 13%. So that's $6,500. Total value of holdings at the end of 1 year is $61,500, all without risking a penny of your own money. Does this look like a good proposition, sir?
It's pretty amazing when you think about this, that you started this based not on your credit, based not on your initial investment. And see, none of this would be possible without expert advice and the support that comes with it. And like you said, at this point right now, your personal credit is not at risk, your personal assets are not at risk. And if this thing works the way that this example works, it's a phenomenal business model.
Oh, no question about it. It is that, no question about it. It is. So think about it. Watch your wealth multiply. I mean, over the next 5 years, again, if we look at these projections and the growth, you're talking about $500,000, accumulate over $500,000 in assets and over $4,000 a month in passive income in just 5 years or less. I mean, this is based on a very conservative number of gaining 1.5% interest on this. I mean, this is amazing to me.
And I want to take a step back for a second, because you see, ultimately, the reason that we go to work, the reason that we go to school to get good grades, to get good jobs, is so that eventually we have enough money to, number one, support our current lifestyles, and number two, to be able to fund a future lifestyle. Now, the future lifestyle that everybody dreams about, right? The golden years is when enough money comes in that you can live the life that you want to live without having to worry about exchanging time for money for the rest of your life. So there's really three types of income in the world. And if you boil it down, number one, there's active income. That's me and you going to work, trading our hours for dollars. And whether it's an hourly wage, whether it's a salary, it doesn't matter how big the salary is, you're still trading your time for dollars. And our good friend, Mr. Warren Buffett, said that as long as you keep trading hours for dollars, you'll never be able to retire in your entire lifestyle. The second kind of income is what I call semi-active income. You buy, you build a business, you build a sales team. So you're earning a percentage of everybody's income along the way, and you still have effort and time in the game, but not as much as when you were active income only. And the third type of income is passive income. Now, this is the best kind of income because this has nothing to do with what you or I get up every morning and do. This has everything to do with the performance of the investments, just like what we're seeing. And what the wealthy understand is that the name of the game is to go from having a lot of active income to having a lot of passive income. And the sooner that you can make that shift across that spectrum is the sooner you get to live the life and then do the meaningful things, do your passion, spend more time with family, travel, or whatever. But I just wanted to take that step back because this is the model that you're looking at right here, is how people get, stay, and pass on wealth.
I love the model, sir. One that we must adopt. Here's the question: how many people do you and I know that would like a risk-free way to accumulate millions in income-producing assets without using their own money? We know the answer. Everybody and their mother. No question about it. So listen, let's talk about this. Simplicity plus duplication equals leverage. Now we have the ability to share the concept that we just reviewed with others, put them in a position to take advantage of everything MWR brings to the table. So let's kind of slow walk this thing and look at what the possibilities are. Share it with 12 people, even if you did one person a month that joined your organization or joined business with you, and then they share it with only half of those people. So 6 people, 6 share it with 3, 3 share it with 2, 2 shares it with 1. What you've done is just built a network of 1,164 people. What does that generate you with the MWR revenue sharing plan? $12,000 a month. We've already shown you $4,000 in passive income from your precious metals investment. Mr. Wilner, we're now at $16,000 a month in income that continues whether we're working or not.
And again, that's the name of the game, to be able to not have to worry about what am I going to have to do today or tomorrow in order to bring in another paycheck, to be able to then focus on the really important things in life.
That's what it's all about, my friend. We've got a path to do it. So let's talk about the referral advantage as it relates to MWR. So you have an opportunity to build a residual income by referring others to the premier wealth building system in the of this century. It doesn't. Nobody's doing what we're doing. You have the ability to earn daily and weekly. The payment structure is there for you. Receive right now money for right now bills. All right. Industry leading payout percentages and deep organizational bonuses. Uh, Mr. Wilner, you and I have been around this opportunity for quite some time. I don't believe there's anything else in this industry that can compare to what we've set up here.
It really is very unique. It's really in a class by itself. And I've never seen something. And, being in the financial services business for several decades, being in the real estate business with a successful business, I get pitched all the time. Oh, you'd be great at this, or you'd be good for, this, or this is a great investment. Very rarely does something come along like this that I actually can stop, pay attention, study it, and then say, yes, this works very well and fits right into what I'm already doing.
Makes sense to me, sir. Perfect fit. As you said earlier, just the perfect marriage. So let's talk about income potential, what this brings to the table, the ability for you and I or anyone else to earn up to $15,000 a day. I mean, that's a maximum daily income. That's pretty exciting. I mean, that equals $450,000 a month. And as you see the numbers, that's well over $5 million a year. And I think you call this athlete money, right?
That's right. That's right. I says, the average person could actually make athletes money simply and very simply by being consistent and following, a sort of a color by the numbers business plan.
No question about it. But it's not over yet. Let's talk about all the other money that's on the table. Now, I know you enjoyed this because you've experienced this revenue sharing plan, but you explain it better than anyone I've ever seen explain it. Help us understand how this structure works.
Yes, this is very interesting. By the way, there are, when you sit down and analyze, over 7 different revenue streams built into this program. I call this, your revenue menu. Okay, you can pick what you want off the menu. Pick the level. How willing are you to roll up your sleeves? How serious you want to get is strictly up to you. But here's the thing. And now, I often talk about a business model, okay? Because it's got to be, a business is nothing more than some sort of a process or procedure that's repeatable and hopefully scalable, which is like what you were talking about, the leverage and so forth. Imagine if you were to build a company starting from scratch. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get your board of directors, or, you're going to get 3 people that see the vision and are looking for a change or looking for something better. And once you do that with this company, only 3, when you think about it, you now are put on basically a salary. It's called our luxury residuals, where you get paid every day. How many days a week is every day? 7 days a week. And so 30 days average in a month, that's $150 a month. When I first saw that, I said, that's nice, right? That's nice. It doesn't necessarily move the needle for me, but it's a couple of things. Number one is I now have proof of concept at a very easy and early level. Number two, I'm going to talk to you in a little bit about how to have a self-funded business. Imagine being able to acquire a business. Okay, I'm not even talking about starting, because there's a large ramp up to start a business. Imagine acquiring a business in 24 hours that within 30 days could be self-funding itself. Now, the company says that if you do this in the first 30 days, which is not a monumental feat, but they're going to give you a $150 bonus if you do that in the first 30 days. Now, that's called our momentum bonus. It's another one of our revenue streams. And momentum means that it's not just 1 month. Let's go into the second month. So if in the second month, you now help those 3 people, your original board of directors, those 3 people that had faith in you, you help them to get their first 3 people so that they can also earn that $150 a month plus that one-time $150 bonus. But if you do that in your second 30 days, now the company bonuses you with 450. You see how the numbers start to grow very rapidly. And now you've already earned $600 in the first 2 months. And on top of that, you're now earning $600 a month. Now there, okay, that will move the needle for a lot of people. That could be a car payment, a substantial portion of a mortgage payment, but that's $7,300 a year of passive income coming in with what I call is very little effort. You know, and we're only talking about having found three in 60 days. But let's go back to the momentum bonuses. They said that if you now get that incoming fresh class of board of directors, people who have the vision, who are motivated to get something better, if you help those three get theirs three, now you're going to make another $900 bonus. So right now in the first 3 months, that's $1,500 right off the bat. By the way, if you do that, you're now at the what they call the 3-star executive level. You're making $50 a day. Okay, I just want to remind you that that's a day. 50 times 30 is $1,500. And let me pause here for just a second, because $1,500 in the first 90 days is a respectable thing to do, and you can do it part-time. We have people that do this in a week, in a month, that because that's what they focus on doing. But the other thing I want you to focus on, do you know that the average Social Security check in America is around $1,600? Now, mind you, people go to work 40 hours a week, 40 years of their life, and now going on 50 years of their life to retire, to get an average Social Security check of little more than $1,500. And you could actually replace it or double it, whichever one you want to look at it as, but you could replace it in as little as 90 days. That's how generous this is. Now, I'm not going to go down every single line, but follow that daily column there. You know, it goes from 5, promote to $20 a day, $50 a day, $100 a day. That's $3,000 a month. Wouldn't that be nice coming in part-time? What could you do with $3,000 extra in your life? Then 150, 200. You know, we have people on tonight's call that are making over $200 per day through their luxury residuals. That's $6,000 a month. At $300 a day, that's a 6-figure income, because $300 a day is $9,000 a month. 9 times 12 is $108,000. We're talking about developing, if you just work this consistently, and even if you progress up the ranks slowly, no one here has mentioned yet quit your job and do this new latest and greatest thing. We're telling you, you could do this in addition to your job, but when you start reaching $300, $400, $500 a day, you can't afford to go to a job. Now, run your eyes to the very bottom. You mentioned before, it is possible to make $15,000 a day. And when I saw this natural progression, and I saw $450 a month, okay, not a year, $450,000 a month, that's when I said, this is athlete's money. This is where the opportunity is unmatched anywhere else in this industry. And you and I both know people already at the $1,000, the $1,500 a day level today. So it's real. And as you often say, if one man can do it,
10 can do it. If 10 can do it, 100 can do it. If 100 can do it, 1,000 can do it. If 1,000 can do it, Mr. Wheeler, you and I or anyone else can do it as well, sir.
And will. And we
It's
will.
a game changer. No question about it. It is a game changer, my friend. So let's move forward here and get to the next one. Now, there's more money on the table. Now, here's what's insane to me. You heard us talk earlier about the commitment from leadership with MWR, wanting to make more millionaires, than any other company in the industry. We're well on our way. You just saw up to $15,000 a day, well over $5 million a year. There's more money. You mentioned multiple streams of income tied to one compensation plan. Here's more money. Fundable 360. You refer a business to this platform, they secure their position with MWR Fundable 360. You receive $400 in commission for that referral. But not only that, if you've sponsored me into the business, Mr. Wilner, and I refer a business, now you, because you sponsored me, get a 25% check match, so you pick up an additional $100. But here's the beauty of it. The legacy bonuses that you spoke about on the other level with the compensation plan, they've included that legacy bonus in the fundable 360 platform. So now everyone that joins your business that secures the MWR fundable 360, you have the ability to make from $30 to as much as $150 for everybody that joins your organization. This is insane.
And very generous. And that's why, if you were to take a step back and then really analyze this opportunity and the numbers and the business behind it and the principles of the company, you would see that this is something really worth paying attention to.
Oh, no question about it, sir. Tremendous amount of money on the table. So let's talk about our lifestyle and legacy membership benefits. Now, I know this is the part that you like. First, we start with the precious metals and leasing. Access to MWR exclusive precious metal and leasing program with passive income, the ability to generate passive income. All right. So now our financial experts, this is the piece that really, really kind of put MWR on the map, because we're going to offer you dedicated experts to assist you in debt elimination, tax reduction strategies, credit enhancement, and so many more pieces, as well as our bill reduction services. Professional negotiators that are going to lower your expenses and increase your available cash flow, because we're going to show you how to basically plug those holes in your financial bucket and put that money back into your pocket, not to mention our savings programs with our MWR rewards, which is going to save you money in your everyday purchase, dining, shopping. And Mr. Wilden, you talked earlier about keys to home ownership. This is the platform that, again, is part of this process that you get with this membership, the ability to do all of those things.
That's right. And that's part of the team of financial experts. So nowhere tonight have we said that you need to go out and get a PhD in finance. Nowhere have we said that you need to become an expert in any one of these numbers of areas that we have experts in. Nowhere in there, even with the Fundable 360, did we tell you that you have to learn how to become a lender and understand bank and financing. All you have to do is refer people to this business, and MWR generously and handsomely pays you for those referrals.
What I consider to be a ridiculous amount of money. Absolutely. So think about this, though. With all that we bring to the table, with the ability to put money back into your pocket from your existing finances, look at what our average is. And that average is based on the tens of thousands of people that have already accessed the program. But Mr. Wilner, think about the ability to put $2,000 a month back into the pockets of the average family that access this platform.
Yeah, and that's even without the first extra dollar coming in. So when you put this business opportunity together with the savings that the experts are helping our members to get every single day, that's a very powerful combination. And that's why this company will create more millionaires than any other business in the financial services. Watch it.
Absolutely, sir. Let's keep moving here. We know that membership has its privileges, right? So the Lifestyle and Legacy membership, what is it going to cost us? $149.97. Now, Eric, that breaks down to be about the price of a cup of coffee a day. Now, here's what I know for sure, and you can confirm this being in the financial service space for decades. The average cost of a good CPA, a financial planner in any city in America right now today is going to be over $200 to $300 an hour, thereabouts, right? So how many of the average persons in this country has the ability to come up with an additional $200 to $300 an hour to surround themselves with these experts that we just spoke about? It doesn't happen.
No, and and even those that could often don't, because they feel that they're spending too much on that advice. The advice that you'll pay more per hour than our members pay per month, and they get all access to all of the different experts, and there's no limit as to how many times you can contact and talk with your experts until you get your questions answered and you have your plan designed, written, and ready to go. And by the way, that 149 includes a spouse, okay? So it could be your marital spouse, it could be your domestic partner, it could be a father, son, mother, daughter, any combination, two people living at the same address can build wealth together. And all this with complete access, complete unlimited access. Imagine having a business team behind you. So again, all you have to do is refer people that need these services. That they could use these services even when they don't realize it. And that's why, where else have you ever heard someone talking about using precious metals and being able to use leverage the bank's money to buy precious metals that create income for you? Nowhere else.
Nowhere else. Our experts do the work and you enjoy the rewards. But there's another piece to this, Mr. Williams, the ability to become a business owner as well. We just shared with you the cost of the services, but talk about this. I like the analogy you use. You say we offer you a business in a box.
And absolutely, it's a 100% IRS compliant business in a box, ready to go. Forget starting a new business. Why not acquire a business model that's already proven and active in the marketplace, that is in desperate need across the country? And literally, and this is because this has been so well put together, that for simply a $100 one-time payment unlocks having a business. Remember, I said one of my 3 core beliefs is that you need to have a business. Simply with a $100 one-time payment, you have a website front facing to the public, marketing material, banners, you name it, form capture. You have a back facing, an internal facing portal and website that you can track all of your finances along with your business and how it's doing. It's really phenomenal. And this is only possible because today and technology allow that to happen. And you can become what's called a qualified marketing director, which is a fancy way of saying I refer people to the services that they need. And I can create multiple streams of income doing that because there's a setup program, there's a color by the numbers business plan, and the finances to back it up. So total startup, when you start out, $100 startup fee, you're $149 a month. And remember, in the first month, if you had 3 people, what I call your initial board of directors, when you have those 3 people, you're already making $150 a month. That means that the monthly membership is already being paid for by your business. And I'll tell you another little secret, that when you refer 3 people to MWR, they waive your monthly membership fee. So next thing you know, you're neither paying the monthly membership fee and you're making the $150 a month. I don't think that they could have made it any simpler, any easier. All of this for the amazing, in fact, I even think that people won't value it enough unless they charge more. But the fact is, with a total startup, $249 and $149 a month, you're on your way to setting yourself up for financial success.
No question about it, Mr. Wilner. Here you talk about value, but here's the amazing part. We know the commitment of the CEO and founder, Mr. Brian House. He wants to give everybody in America an opportunity to be a part of this. People that are serious about getting their financial life in order. We talk about a startup cost for a business only being $249.97 right now, and I don't know how long this is going to last, but he's waived that $100 setup fee. So now it's only $149 to get all of it, the business and the membership. Now, here's the beautiful part about it. Whether it's $249 or $149 or $2,049, look at what you get. You now partner with the fastest growing financial strategies company in the U.S. You also are in the middle now of the multi-trillion dollar year industry. You mentioned it earlier, financial services, but the ability to earn ridiculous amounts of money with our income stream, our revenue sharing platform. Think about it. I think you mentioned 8 income streams within that one revenue sharing platform. Let's count them for you. 1, you get the MWR luxury residual. That's 1. Sponsor bonus, 2. Momentum bonus, 3. Lifestyle bonus, 4. Legacy bonus, 5. The MWR fundable 360 referral, 6. Matching bonus, 7. And the legacy bonus added on to that. That's 8, my friend. You hit it right on the head. I've never seen anything like it.
It's phenomenal. And listen, it's probably sounds like a lot of information coming at you all at once. Go back to the basics. This is a very, very simple business. It's a perfect add-on for, whatever you're doing now. In the course of your day, you're with your colleagues, your friends, you have people to talk about. And watch tomorrow, pay attention how many times the topic of money doesn't already come up. And here you have the ability to simply by referring people to a quality service that they want and need, that you can also, as my good friend Dr. Gerald Parker likes to say, get paid ridiculous amounts of money for the effort and the work that you actually have to do.
No question about it, sir. We've got something here, and we talk about a guarantee. Once again, you've been around the financial service space for decades. I don't believe there's anyone else out there in this space that offers such a strong guarantee on their business model. Think about it. MWR says you'll get a 30-day money back guarantee. Look at what they say. They're bold enough, Eric, to put it in writing. They said if our expert strategy or opportunity cannot save or make you more money in your first 30 days, then we'll give you a full refund. That's incredible. But even with the Fundable 360, there's a guarantee as well. If any business you refer, including your own, does not qualify for at least $50,000 of ongoing unsecured business funding, by following our experts' guidance, MWR Fundable 360 will refund your enrollment fee. That's incredible. Again,
That's
a
strong.
opportunity. I mean, and these guarantees ensure that the only way that you lose is simply by choosing not to participate. And that's it. I mean, we encourage you strongly to participate in your own rescue. But again, you being in the financial service space, is anybody else out there offering guarantees?
Right. Go ask your stockbroker what guarantees he'll give you. Ask even your financial planner what guarantees he'll give you. Most financial planners aren't even allowed to use the word guarantee from their compliance departments. So, like I said, this is good. This is how we disrupt an industry, by setting up a plan, setting up a business, setting up a system that anybody can do, and they can do it, whether it's full-time or part-time. It's available to anyone who wants to do better.
There you go. We've got a chance. But now, listen. Now, when I saw this page or this slide, I knew you were going to love this. I immediately thought about you because this is in your wheelhouse, and this is what you've always talked about. The 4 years I've known you, the day that we met, we talked about these things, and you brought this to the table. We talk about paths, right? Traditional versus MWR. Now, we're all familiar with the traditional path. And by the way, that work 40-year path, you can add 10 more years to that because it looks like it's averaging to be about 50 now. But talk about these two paths, starting with the traditional path, the track that most people are currently on right now.
Well, it starts with, at a very young age, right? Go to school, get good grades. Why get good grades? So you can get a good and safe and secure job. Then go and work for that job. I mean, we used to get pensions, and there would be all sorts of, rope me in incentives to go work for a business. Do you know that in the early 1900s, 90% of all businesses were mom and pop, people were self-employed. Today, 90% of the people are employees. And what we're starting to see, though, is a shift. People are looking for something else. They want to get out of that rat race, to work 40 years of your life, 40 hours a week. And by the way, it should be called a 50-50-40 plan, because you're going to work 50 years of your life, probably putting in 50 hours a week at work. And yet the average Social Security check is only at 40% of what the maximum security check is. And by the way, that's no big deal either. Do you know, Gerald, that the maximum amount of Social Security you can get is only $4,000. I had people say, "Oh, I thought it was $10,000." Social Security will never, at its current level, will never pay more than $4,000, no matter how much you earned or paid into the system. So then society tells you to use your own money to invest. They don't talk to you about leverage and doing those other things. They tell you to risk your personal credit, your personal assets. That's the only way to do it. They tell you to work harder. If you want more income, then work harder, work more hours. And they teach us to settle for returns of 5 to 7%. My investors in real estate, we won't get out of bed for 5%. Okay. You can get that in a CD, and what in reality, you're barely keeping up with inflation nowadays. And then unfortunately, 80% of Americans end up relying on Social Security, which is an insurance, not a retirement plan. And most people's 401k plans pale even in comparison to the equity of their homes, which is why I'm such a fanatic about home ownership. Now, that's the traditional path. Let's take a look at the opportunity presented tonight. We're talking about building assets and income in 5 years, not 40 or 50 years. We're talking about using leverage, the number one power tool. If you think about that, right? Carpenters and, electricians, they all have their tools. The wealthy have a power tool called leverage, and they use the bank's money. They use the insurance company's money. They use other people's money, not yours. And most of the time, No personal assets are at stake or at risk. No personal credit is being used to acquire this. And so they're leveraging assets and people to make more income. And remember, I told you, you want to get from that active income on the one end of the rainbow to the right side where the gold is, where you have passive residual income coming in. And we've been talking about interest rates and rates of return in the 12 to 24% annual returns plus appreciation, because we're now talking about assets that grow in value. And now that's how you go from active, you know, income that is limited by the 24 hours that you have. Even if you could work 24 hours a day, that it would still be capped at whatever your pay rate is. When you have assets, there's no limit. You can enjoy eternal passive residual income that you own and control. By the way, security is not in a job anymore. You can ask the tens of thousands of government employees let go over the last year, of regular employees being let go over the last year. Ask them where the security is. That job security idea is a thing of the past.
No question about it, sir. It is. And we've got to create plan B. We've got to get serious about this because many people, I mean, you think about this too, Eric. I know many people personally who've already committed 30 or 40 years of their life to a job, retired, only to go back to work, not because they want to, because they absolutely have to, because they simply can't afford to retire. And if people are betting their future on Social Security or 401k, what advice could you give them or would you give them?
um, that they need to get better educated about money. They need to surround themselves with experts. Like I said, I don't think you have to learn everything. You just have to have the right team around you. And that's what MWR's membership provides, is vetted experience. We're talking about CPAs, CFPs, and IRS enrolled agents. We're not talking about somebody in a, in a cubicle somewhere answering questions. We're talking about vetted professionals that are now in your court. And that's why MWR makes such a difference. And we hope that you'll take a look at this and say, I want to make a difference in my life. I'm tired of that status quo that, this year is a lot like last year. It's no big difference. You have to be, and I love your expression, you have to participate in your own rescue. And this is where you do it.
No question about it, sir. It is a viable choice. Now, that's why we feel it's the perfect business. Think about it. Universal appeal. We talked about everybody's need to find a way to master this business of money. We get immediate income daily and weekly, high retention. People come here and they stay. Recession proof. You mentioned that. So you refer, experts do the work, and you and I get paid by simply referring them to MWR and MWR Fundable 360. You can help make this dream a reality while creating substantial income for yourself. See, our model combines immediate income with long-term wealth building, giving you the best of both worlds. I think we've got something here, sir.
100%. And that's why, when you couple the membership with the business, it's the perfect combination.
No question about it. All right, let's start turning the corner. Now, what our members are saying, and I'm fortunate enough to
Hey, I know that guy.
I'm fortunate enough and humbled to be able to share my story with so many other successful people in MWR. But guys, there's room for everybody to grow that a substantial income and create the lives of their dreams. Eric, you mentioned there was a guy that was already with the organization, had been here for a short time, already making $1,500 a day of that scale that we saw from $5 to as much as 15,000. Well, here's the top income earner, Mr. Brian M. Bean. Again, I was able to generate enough income from this opportunity to walk away from a $65,000 a year job to do this full time. Not to mention the impact that the services had on my life. At $350 back in tax overpayment, after consulting with the CPAs, they increased my credit score 128 points. That 128 points got me a reduction in my homeowner's automobile premium by $200 a month. That combined of 350 plus 200, the 550. I looked at what they consider, it was foreign to me, this whole concept of self-banking, but the consultants began to talk about investing that money and putting it into what they call a PRA. It turns out that private reserve account is paying me 10 times more than my 401k. put me in a position to retire in 10 years versus 25. And at this point, I just started sharing this opportunity with as many people who would listen because I knew a million people needed the same thing to happen to them. And within 2 years, I was able to replace that income and walk away, much like Charles and Judith Ivy, both retired military, who are living their dream life. This house that you see in construction is now completed. They're in it, 6,000 square feet. Guys, the sky's the limit. There's no limit to what we can or can't do with MWR. I say for those who are serious about getting their financial life in order, it's worth looking at. So, Eric, here's another one that I thought about you when I saw the cost of waiting. So the caption is, you cannot afford, can you afford not to join MWR? But think about this. If we sit on this and do nothing, right? And not take advantage of what MWR has put in front of us and try to find a way to position ourselves to grow and gain $500,000 in less than 5 years or 5 years or less. I mean, does it make sense? Is that MWR truly is something that we can't afford to miss?
You know, not making a decision is in fact a decision. And at every point in your life, you're being asked to make certain decisions about money, decisions about family, decisions about your future. And but the longer you take, you see, society and the economy rewards fast action. It also punishes procrastination. And here you see it in black and white dollars that procrastinating, the cost of waiting, is very, very expensive.
No doubt about it, sir. And we don't want to find ourselves there. No, no, no way in the world. But we talk about a community. This community that we're part of with the MWR, there's some major advantages. Through this community, sir, I had the opportunity to meet you. And not only you, but so many others, Fernando Ramirez, Ana Rodriguez, the list is long. But this is a community of like-minded individuals who we all believe the same thing. We all want the same thing. We're on a wealth building journey. We want to be free. We want to own our own lives. We talk about ongoing education, which is available, mentorship network. I mean, you have poured so much into my life, sir. The experience that you bring to the table has been a huge value to me. We talk about recognition, celebrating achievements and special recognition, luxury rewards. This community gives you everything that you need.
And it's what's really makes it a lot of fun, as well as being very profitable. You know, we've met great entrepreneurial people, a number of them, and they all have one thing in common, and that is that they want to make the world better while they're in it, and they want to make the world better when they leave it. And that's really remarkable, and that's really a high level way of thinking, in my opinion, and that's one of the reasons that attracted me to this opportunity.
Absolutely, sir. No doubt about it. So, Mr. Wilner, here are the next steps for the next individual. So, walk us through it. What needs to happen next?
Well, like I said, take a good hard look, understand, study. You might want to come back and see another one of these presentations, but the bottom line is get your questions answered. Contact the person that invited you, that referred you to this presentation. They thought highly enough about you that you would make a great candidate, perhaps to be part of their board of directors. Address any questions or concerns. Get the questions out in the open. Don't be bashful. Then, like I said, what with that revenue menu, choose the membership level that you want. Decide whether you want to be just a lifestyle and legacy membership and take advantage of all the savings, average of $2,000 a month, or whether you want to put this another step higher and work this as a business and an opportunity that you can easily refer as part of what you're already doing. Then it's time to make that decision, right? Complete your enrollment. Let that referring person guide you through the simple enrollment process. Takes only a few minutes. Think about this. You could actually, with a one-time $100 fee and probably about 15 minutes of time, you could start your business tonight. And that's pretty amazing. And then finally, then sit down and have a launch plan. You begin working with our experts, use them. You know, you've got a team of CPAs and CFPs in your back pocket now. Begin working with our experts to implement your own personal wealth building strategy. You see, when we go to a restaurant and we have a great experience, we go out and we tell everybody. We go see an entertaining movie or a play or a show, we go out and tell everybody. And nowhere in there do we get rewarded other than the personal satisfaction. Now imagine not only getting the personal satisfaction of making a financial difference in somebody's life, but also getting paid for it and start earning immediate benefits. Those, my friend, are your next steps.
I'm loving it. I'm following that. So listen, if you've seen enough and heard enough tonight to make a decision to join us on this mission, this ministry, this crusade, this movement, on behalf of myself and Mr. Eric Wilner, we want to say welcome to MWR. Again, we're Lifestyle and Legacy Connect. So, sir, believe it or not, that concludes our presentation. I'll stop the screen share. We'll come out to the field. There may be questions, and if they are, we'll get Fernando to help us get the mics open and the cameras open. And we don't want you to leave this platform tonight without having a full understanding of what you've seen and heard. And Eric, while we wait for Fernando to make the adjustments to give people an opportunity to speak and see and open their cameras, I want to say thanks for being here with me tonight. This is our first night together rolling this out. And just like with anything, I think the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it, and we'll get the flow of this and get a real feel for it. But it's been an honor, sir, to serve with you tonight.
The honor is mutual. Dr. Gerald Parker, I always look forward to hanging out and just talking about this, sharing this with people, watching the reaction of people when they light up and they see, here is an opportunity that I actually can take advantage of. I can see myself doing this. This is not complicated. You don't have to be great at numbers. You don't have to be great. You don't have to be great at is being great to other people, to sharing when you see something good. And that's why the first thing you want to do is explore all of the membership benefits. I think that's the secret. When you use, just like you did in the very beginning, you were introduced this in a very early stage of the company. In fact, they didn't have half the benefits that today our company offers, but you went in there and you got the instant pay raise, and so you validated it, and plus you had $3 extra $100 in your paycheck. You saw the results on your credit score. See, most people pay a lot of money to fix credit when their credit's bad. Even more people don't even pay attention to their credit. And let me just tell you that your credit score is probably the single most important number in your finances. You see, a person with an 800 credit score gets special offers. They get free money, 0% interest, 12, 24 months. They get bonuses. They get paid to use their credit card. A person with a 700 credit score is average. They're not going to get those same offers. They'll get offers. They'll get credit cards, but they won't get nearly the same benefits like 0% interest. And now let me just caution all of you out there. The average credit score in America today is about 703. That's on the border, because if you have less than a 700 credit score, then you're going to be paying a premium on top of the cost of whatever you buy. You're going to be paying extra interest on loans, credit cards, anything of that nature. When it comes to insurance, and it doesn't matter whether it's health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, a low credit score means high premiums. And that's why it's so important. Imagine having a membership, but by the way, included in that membership, okay? There's no extra fee. They will baby, build, and really, strengthen your credit score. And again, you don't have to be an expert in the credit field. You just have to refer to the experts. You give the referrals, they do the work, you get paid. And that's it.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm telling you, we've put together something that really works and has worked for tens of thousands of people across this country. There's a viable plan in place now, Eric. There's a roadmap. Again, we've leveled the playing field. We've given the average everyday person full access to the same tools and systems that wealthy people have always had. And people now have an opportunity to choose their own path as to how they want to pursue it. But we've laid it out. And we've got a track to run on now. So I'm excited about that and the possibilities. Mr. Fernando Ramirez is with us tonight, my good friend, and your friend out of Southern California, who's been with the opportunity for 3 years now. And we talked earlier about the position of regional director, $200 a day, $6,000 a month, $73,000 a year. Here's a gentleman who did it in 8 months for Eric, 8 months. That's pretty impressive to generate that level of income and consistently keep generating that level of income over this 3-year period. Not to mention Ana Rodriguez, who he sponsored into the program, who did the exact same thing in 90 days. I mean, that's a couple, believe it.
You know, the opportunity is at your doorstep. It's what you do with it that makes the results happen. And so, you know, whatever pace it is that is comfortable to you, whatever the pace is that you have your eye on, take the first step.
I'm loving it, sir. Well, it looks like we don't have any questions. Again, guys, your mics, you can open your microphones as well as your cameras if you, let's see if we've done that. And hang on. No, I'm going to start that for
Yep,
you.
it's Dr. GW. The microphones are open and cameras.
No, they're not, sir. They were not. I'm sorry. I'm doing it now, Fernando.
Oh, okay, I thought I did it properly.
We
Yeah, you're
got it.
right.
Now we got it.
Yep, sorry about that. You
No
got it,
problem.
Dr. G.
No worries, sir. We got it. We got it. So, guys, with that being said, are there any questions that anyone may have? Well, again, we don't want you to leave this platform tonight without having full understanding of what you've seen and heard. Jameson Rowe, welcome to the platform, sir.
Am I here? There. Oh, not enough light. Hold on 1 second. I had a question. So with the business funding, oh, that's why. Yeah, here we go. Now I'm here. With the business funding, is it true that we can also use that funding not only for the precious metals, but also other opportunities and the precious metals? Is it restricted just to the precious metals platform?
No restrictions, sir. Use the funding for whatever you desire it to be used for.
And it's once you apply for it, it says you're approved and it's ongoing. And they actually increase the amount as you qualify for once you're approved, it will ever grow and grow and grow. So it's not limited to $50,000. So whatever it needs to grow to for your needs. Is that correct? For like for a business a business owner that's looking to expand and needs capital, and then they could take extra capital that they have that they're doing and actually put that into the precious metals as a hedge against inflation. So they can take their other revenue and bring it in too. So there's opportunities to do it only with other people's money and some of your own capital that you're needing to invest in precious metals.
That is absolutely correct, sir.
Yeah, that's a great question because not only does he point out that the funding is available for whatever you decide, you know, you get the funding, you decide, you know, whether it's to grow your existing business, do additional marketing, additional inventory, whatever the case may be, or even to use it to buy other things like real estate that, you know, is my favorite wheelhouse. But the precious metals is a unique opportunity because now not only are they are making those precious metals more available, but it comes with expert advice and the guidance and the people who already negotiated those special contracts in advance. And you know, it's like having an expert team in all of these different areas, many of which you may not even have been aware of or been comfortable enough to do it without experts.
No question about it, sir. It's an incredible opportunity. It's a phenomenal platform. This is the ticket for the average everyday person. I mean, if you want to win in your financial life, take a hard look at what we've shown you tonight. And I'm excited, Eric, that we have the ability to be a part of this and share this concept with so many people across the country. So, guys, with that being said, Mr. Wilner, I'll give you closing thoughts and we'll wrap it up and go home.
Yeah, well, you know, my only closing thoughts, as I mentioned before, there's a spectrum that you want to cross. You want to go from having to actively work for every dollar, every hour that you spend, to having the privilege of having residual passive income that grows over time, that is hedged against inflation. That's the name of the game, no matter what your career is. The question is, do you know how you're going to get there, or would you like a better plan? And with that, I'll pass it back to you.
Good deal, sir. Well, Fernando, thank you again for setting this up and being our host tonight, sir. God bless you, and truly an honor to be in business with you.
I feel the same. Appreciate you both. I mean, I love this new conversation, PowerPoint. It really lit up the fire to be able to understand that we have multiple ways to generate income. Okay, so if you don't have access to, the funds to get started with Fundable 360, you can refer other folks. In addition to not only referring folks to the Fundable 360, referring 7 people, you can refer 36 people to the membership and get your $1,500 a month in residual income. To me, I've been able to enjoy 3 years of passive income, working, but whether I work or not, we still get paid every day. We started this year, with fires here in the local area. Businesses were shutting down. People didn't go to work. They didn't get paid. So we had to evacuate our area, and we still got paid every single day. The other thing is we got sick for a couple of weeks. We were just laying in bed, my wife and I. We high fever, it was just horrible, and we were still getting paid. We saw our checks come in every single day at 2 p.m. And all we do is basically maintain our business while it grows and explodes. So the guarantee income, we've gotten paid 3 consecutive years, every single day for 365 days. So I've never seen anything as good as this. And what makes it all special is working alongside tremendous leaders like yourself and the team partners that we have. This is a definite business in a box with true opportunity. Thanks again, everyone. Appreciate you. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Dr. Giraldi.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, good night, folks. Thank you so much.
Good night.